Imagine if everything we've learned about global warming was just one piece of a much bigger and scarier puzzle. What if, in fact, the warming of the Earth was not just the result of human action, but the visible symptom of a silent and colossal threat approaching from the depths of space? For decades, scientists, researchers, and environmentalists have dedicated themselves to understanding and combating rising global temperatures, intense droughts, devastating storms, and melting polar ice caps. The narrative seemed clear: we humans, with our factories, cars, and incessant burning of fossil fuels, were destroying our home. But what if this story, although true in part, was hiding another reality, one that few dare even consider? Today, you will be invited to expand your gaze beyond the limits of the Earth's atmosphere. Let's follow clues left in variations in the magnetic field, in solar cycles, in geological records, and even in ancient manuscripts, to discover that perhaps the Earth is responding not only to the actions of its inhabitants, but also to subtle changes, and some not so subtle, that come from far, far away from here. Cosmic events like extreme solar storms, magnetic pole shifts, and Earth's orbital wobbles may be playing a much bigger role in climate than we realize. What if these forces have already been affecting our natural systems for a long time, with signals that we are only now beginning to decipher? What you will see in this video is not a conspiracy theory, nor an attempt to discredit man-made climate change, far from it. It is a curious and reflective journey into how extremely complex and often unpredictable space phenomena and natural processes can intertwine with our own impacts on the planet. Over the next few minutes, you will understand how cosmic radiation, solar cycles, and even the gravitational influence of celestial bodies can alter weather patterns in ways we are still beginning to understand. You will also discover why some scientists argue that looking only inside the Earth is seeing half the story, and why the space out there may hold answers that we urgently need to find. So if you've ever stopped to wonder if there's something more, something that hasn't yet been fully revealed about what's changing our world, this video was made for you. Stay until the end, because we're going to explore together a theory that, in addition to being fascinating, could be the key to understanding not just the present, but the future of humanity. If at any point this journey makes you think differently, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It's a way of saying that bringing this research to light was worth it. For a long time, we imagined the Earth as a closed system, a self-sufficient planet where the main influences came from within, from its oceans, forests, volcanoes, and human action itself. This comfortable idea created a narrative where our climate problems could be explained almost entirely by human activities. But there's a part of the story that is rarely told, and it begins more than 150 million kilometers from here, in the fiery heart of our solar system. The sun, the mother star of our system, is much more than just a source of light and heat. He is a living entity, constantly changing. In cycles of approximately 11 years, the sun goes through periods of maximum and minimum activity, releasing enormous amounts of radiation and charged particles in all directions, including towards Earth. These events, known as solar storms or coronal mass ejections, not only produce spectacular auroras, but also have the power to knock out power grids, erase satellites, and, as some studies suggest, alter subtle atmospheric patterns that regulate the global climate. The Carrington Event, recorded in 1859, is one of the most frightening examples of this power. At that time, a solar storm so intense hit Earth that telegraph operators received electric shocks while working, and the systems continued to work even after they were turned off. But think about it, if an event of this magnitude caused such an impact in a technologically simple era, what would happen in a world like today, dependent on digital networks, GPS, and satellites for everything? Modern research indicates that large solar events can also alter the distribution of ozone in the stratosphere, changing wind circulation and ocean currents, fundamental factors for climate balance. In other words, the solar influence on us can be much greater and deeper than we would like to admit. And now comes the fact that few know. Recently, scientists have observed a significant increase in the number and intensity of solar storms. According to forecasts, we are entering one of the most intense solar cycles in recent times, called Solar Cycle 25. If this trend is confirmed, it is possible that more severe storms will occur more frequently, exposing our vulnerability, both technological and climatic. But if the sun is one of the main external agents influencing Earth's climate, it is not the only one. There is something even more disturbing. The Earth itself is silently changing its position, and with it, altering its own destiny. The Earth's axis, the imaginary rod that crosses the planet from the north to the south poles, is not fixed. It wavers. This movement, known as polar movement or polar drift, happens naturally over thousands of years. But recently, scientists noticed something strange. The geographic North Pole is moving faster than ever at a speed of about 50 kilometers per year towards Siberia. The causes are still being studied, but one of the main theories points to the redistribution of mass on the planet, the melting of polar ice caps, the rise of the oceans, and even internal changes in the Earth's mantle. This axis shift may seem subtle, but it has gigantic implications. It alters the Earth's magnetic field, influences the circulation of winds and oceans, and as a result may be contributing to extreme weather events in ways we are still trying to understand. Now, imagine combining the instability of the Earth's axis with increased solar activity. Two cosmic forces acting simultaneously, moving the invisible gears that keep the Earth's climate in balance. It would be like trying to balance a moving ball on a thin branch, while someone blows wind on one side and the branch shakes on the other. If we are feeling that the climate is changing in unpredictable ways, with unseasonable hurricanes, severe droughts where water was once abundant, record heat waves in unlikely places, perhaps some of this is not just a direct result of our human actions, but also an echo of much larger forces that have been at work since time immemorial. And these forces are not limited to just the sun and the Earth's movement. There is another invisible agent, even more enigmatic and frightening, that may be influencing our planet in a silent way. An agent from the center of the galaxy. If solar storms and the displacement of the Earth's axis already seem like phenomena too big to ignore, there is still a third force, an even deeper invisible and mysterious one, that could be silently shaping our destiny: cosmic radiation. Scattered across the universe like dust from ancient stars, cosmic radiation is made up of highly energetic subatomic particles traveling at nearly the speed of light. They arise from cataclysmic events such as supernova explosions, violently rotating black holes, and collisions between galaxies. It's pure energy, a reminder that the universe is an active and dangerous place. Most of these particles are blocked by the Earth's magnetic field and the ozone layer. But what few know is that as the Earth's magnetic field weakens, something that has been recorded in recent decades, an increasing amount of this radiation reaches the atmosphere. And exposure to it can have effects that we are still beginning to understand. Recent studies suggest that cosmic radiation can influence cloud formation, altering the global climate in surprising ways. In times of high cosmic activity, radiation increases the number of condensation nuclei in the atmosphere, tiny particles that help form clouds. More clouds can mean more rain in some places, a more blocking of sunlight in others, resulting in localized cooling or, paradoxically, atmospheric instabilities that lead to heat waves in specific regions. It's as if space was silently manipulating the controls of Earth's thermostat. And this is not just theory. Danish researchers led by scientist Henrik Svensmark have dedicated years to studying this connection between cosmic radiation and Earth's climate. Their experiments suggest that there is indeed an important correlation. Although controversial and still debated in scientific circles, the hypothesis opens a fascinating door space. Through processes that we barely understand, could be largely responsible for the changes we are seeing on the planet. But what makes it all even more intriguing is that our solar system is not a static island in the cosmos. It travels through the Milky Way at an impressive speed, dipping from time to time into regions of the galaxy with the highest density of energetic particles. Each time we pass through these interstellar clouds, the amount of radiation reaching Earth can increase dramatically. And according to some astronomical models, there are signs that we are approaching one of these regions now. Imagine, in addition to the influence of the sun and the displacement of our axis, the Earth's own trajectory through the galaxy may be exposing us to unprecedented levels of cosmic radiation, altering the global climate balance without us even realizing it. It is no surprise that in recent decades, historical records show an acceleration in extreme meteorological phenomena, in addition to changes in the distribution patterns of ice, forests, and deserts around the world. The question that begins to arise is, to what extent are these transformations simply the result of human action? And to what extent are we responding to a silent call from the stars? This perspective does not diminish our environmental responsibility, of course. On the contrary, it makes it even more urgent. Because if cosmic forces are indeed accelerating natural processes of change, our impacts, which once seemed reversible, may be just the spark needed to ignite a global transformation beyond our control. What if the worst is yet to come? There's something even more disturbing that scientists have detected: the possibility that we're not only passing through a zone of high cosmic radiation, but also approaching a dramatic change in Earth's own magnetic field, something that could redefine life as we know it. While we look to the stars and solar winds in search of answers, another phenomenon, even more disturbing, occurs right beneath our feet: the weakening and possible inversion of the Earth's magnetic field. The magnetic field is the invisible shield that protects the planet from cosmic radiation and charged solar particles. Without it, the atmosphere would slowly erode, communications would disrupt, and the Earth's surface would be exposed to lethal doses of radiation. It's a silent but essential line of defense for life as we know it. And now, worrying signs indicate that something is changing. Over the past 200 years, Earth's magnetic field has lost about 9 of its total strength. This rate of weakening, faster than any previously known record, has led scientists to speculate about the possibility of a geomagnetic reversal, a phenomenon where the north and south poles completely reverse. Pole reversals have happened before, dozens of times throughout Earth's geological history. They are natural processes, but extremely slow, or so we thought. Fossil and geological evidence suggests that at some points in the past, these changes occurred over frighteningly short periods of time, perhaps as little as a century or two. What if we are living right in the middle of one of these periods right now? The reversal of the poles alone would not be an immediate apocalyptic event, but during the process of weakening and reorganizing the field, the consequences could be serious satellite failures, increased exposure to solar radiation, accelerated genetic mutations in living species, direct impacts on agriculture, energy networks, and the climate itself. Researchers believe that the fragmentation of the magnetic field, already visible in areas such as the South Atlantic Anomaly, where protection is much weaker, could open doors for a greater incidence of high-energy particles in the atmosphere. And each open door represents a silent threat to the stability of ecosystems, technology, and human health. And most alarmingly, there's a historical correlation between periods of magnetic reversal and mass extinction events. Although science still debates how strong this relationship is, the pattern is too intriguing to ignore. The combination of the weakening magnetic field, increased cosmic radiation, instability in the rotation axis, and increased solar activity creates a complex and potentially explosive scenario for our climate and for life on Earth itself. It's no longer just about pollution, greenhouse gases, or deforestation. If all of this is truly happening together, we are witnessing a rare convergence of cosmic and geological factors capable of triggering rapid and radical changes. And the most disturbing thing, we have no control over this. This is a narrative that few want to tell, perhaps, because it takes us out of the comfortable position of being the only ones responsible for or capable of solving the world's problems. Perhaps because admitting the existence of these forces would be acknowledging how vulnerable we really are on the grand stage of the universe. But there is still a piece missing from this puzzle. An element that is almost always forgotten, but which could have even more direct and immediate consequences for our near future: the role of asteroid and comet impacts, and what they have already started to do to Earth's climate. While science struggles to understand the effects of cosmic radiation and magnetic instability, another threat as old as Earth itself silently orbits beyond our atmosphere: the risk of cosmic impacts. When we talk about asteroids and comets, most people imagine rare events occurring on scales of millions of years. After all, the famous impact that wiped out the dinosaurs happened 66 million years ago. It seems too far away to worry, doesn't it? But this comfortable perception hides a much more disturbing reality. Earth is regularly hit by objects from space. Most burn harmlessly in the atmosphere, but larger objects tens or hundreds of meters in diameter pose a real and constant threat. In 2013, a meteor measuring just 20 meters exploded over Chelyabinsk, Russia, releasing energy 30 times greater than the Hiroshima bomb, injuring more than 1,500 people. And that was just a warning. Now imagine what an object 1 kilometer or larger could do. Studies show that impacts of this magnitude would not only cause immediate regional destruction, but could also release so many particles into the atmosphere that sunlight would be blocked for months or even years. A global impact winter leading to crop failures, ecological collapses, and catastrophic climate change. Most disturbingly, evidence suggests that similar events may have happened more recently than we think. Some theories indicate that the fall of comet fragments at the end of the last ice age, around 12,800 years ago, may have triggered an abrupt cooling known as the Younger Dryas, radically altering the climate and contributing to the disappearance of megafaunal species. And here comes an even more disconcerting piece. There are signs that the flow of cosmic debris into the interior of the solar system is increasing. Scientists have been monitoring the Oort cloud, a vast collection of comets in the outer reaches of the solar system, and observed that gravitational disturbances, perhaps caused by the passing of nearby stars or even mysterious as-yet unidentified celestial bodies, may be launching new comets toward the sun, and potentially Earth. The solar system, therefore, is not a calm swimming pool. It's a cosmic minefield where invisible forces can change trajectories in a matter of millennia or less. And there's another worrying factor: our ability to detect dangerous objects is still limited. According to estimates by NASA and other space agencies, we only know about 40 of near-Earth objects larger than 140 meters in diameter. This means that most potential threats still remain invisible to our telescopes. Which brings us to an uncomfortable question: are we focusing too much on the visible problems of global warming and missing a greater cosmic threat that is silently and inevitably approaching? If we add up all the factors: solar instability, increasing cosmic radiation, the Earth's magnetic weakening, the possibility of a pole reversal, and the threat of space impacts, we begin to see a much more complex picture, much broader than the one we usually discuss. Global warming can indeed be a symptom, but not just human actions. It may be the outward sign of a profound cosmic reorganization, a dance of immense forces shaping the destinies of the worlds. Forces against which our technology, however advanced it may seem, is almost powerless. What if everything we are experiencing now is just the prelude to an inevitable planetary transformation? Because there is something even scarier which few dare mention. A theory that suggests that catastrophic events on Earth occur in regular cycles, driven by cosmic forces, and that we are dangerously close to the next big cycle. Nay, there's 6. As we look deeper into these cosmic phenomena, an even more disturbing hypothesis begins to emerge. What if Earth, our seemingly stable home, was trapped in a recurring cycle of destruction, an invisible clock, driven by cosmic forces we barely understand? This idea is not new. Several ancient cultures spoke of eras of creation and destruction. The Hindus called them yugas. The Mayans spoke of suns that ended in catastrophes. What seemed like just mythology today finds disturbing echoes in modern science. Independent researchers and geologists have begun to identify mysterious patterns, mass extinction events, major climate changes. Periods of intense seismic and volcanic activity appear to occur at almost regular intervals of time, somewhere between 10,000 and 12,000 years. Coincidence? Perhaps. But when we cross-reference these dates with archaeological evidence, we see signs of ancient civilizations abruptly disappearing, of great buried or sunken structures like the submerged ruins of Yonaguni, Japan, or the mysterious megalithic remains scattered around the world. And what is even more distressing, we are precisely living on the threshold of this time interval right now. If these cycles are real, the question is not whether a new global transformation will happen, but when. Several scientists have theorized about possible causes, the passage of the solar system through unstable regions of the galaxy, the impact of comets coming from the Oort cloud, the reversal of the magnetic poles, or even gravitational disturbances caused by massive bodies not yet detected, such as the hypothetical Planet 9. The central issue is that all these forces would be converging silently to create a scenario conducive to radical changes on Earth. What about global warming? Within this broader vision, it would be not the disease itself, but the first visible symptom of a much larger process, a planetary fever announcing the arrival of a cosmic crisis. Our out-of-control climate, our melting poles, our collapsing ecosystems. Perhaps all of this is just the surface of something roiling deep within the universe. Something that has happened before, that has left invisible scars on Earth's memory, and that now threatens to happen again. Imagine for a moment, what if the true history of humanity is marked not only by its achievements and mistakes, but also by its vulnerability in the face of the gigantic forces that govern the cosmos? What if we are right now living in the prologue of a new era, an era that will demand of us more than technology, more than science? It will demand resilience, wisdom, and a new understanding of our place in the universe. As science races to understand, as political debates rage over carbon emissions, perhaps the silent time of the stars is moving, relentless. Perhaps Earth is just beginning to tell us a story far older and far grander than we ever dared imagine. But the most surprising thing is that in the midst of all this, there is an unexpected hope, something that was recently discovered and that could change the way we see our future. Perhaps the real lesson here is not fear, but awareness. Earth has gone through unimaginable changes before and survived. Life found ways to be reborn, to transform. And we, as part of this living history, can do the same. What really matters is not just what we face, but how we choose to act in the face of the unknown. If this journey made you think differently about what is happening on our planet, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. This shows that more people are also ready to look beyond the obvious. And if you want to keep exploring mysteries that could change everything we know, there's one more story that will surprise you. It's appearing on your screen now. I'll wait for you in the next video.